Tau Empire. What's the deal with it? They're blue. They're kind of new. They shoot you pretty hard. Who knows what's going on with the Tau Empire? But today we're going to learn what's going on with the Tau Empire. So let's go ahead and give them a look. The faction focus, the Tau Empire, it's going to be for the greater good. Obviously for the greater good. There was no question in my mind that I would say that. The Tau Empire. Oh, the Tau. A shockingly popular faction, actually. One of the most popular Xenos factions outside of Nids. I think they're tied-ish with Necrons, though I could just be totally talking out of my butt right there. A very popular faction, a very mixed response faction. We've kind of moved past the Tau phase. We've now kind of moved into the other phase, which is, oh my god, Tau, my entire army is dead. Oh my god, please stop firing at me. I can't handle this. And then you just die a horrible death. Tau have been a notoriously difficult faction to balance. They shoot like trains, and they have all kinds of rules to keep you out of melee combat, which is often known as rather annoying. But despite that, they can be a difficult faction to deal with while simultaneously being one that can shoot you off the board. So, the promise of progress, understanding, and goodwill for all doesn't sound very 40k, but one group of plucky underdogs is trying to make it happen far to the galactic east. We might be selling them a little short. They're actually a quickly expanding confederation of alien species armed with rapid technology and tactical innovation, an ironclad devotion to the greater good, and some of the biggest guns in the galaxy. Yes, it's the Tau Empire, and today we're looking at how the most fluid and flexible faction of the far future, except perhaps the Tyranids, is adapting to the new addition to 40k. I gotta be honest, Tau have had so many kinds of rules between Montka, Kauyon, their jetpack stuff, marker lights. I genuinely don't know what their main faction rule is gonna be. I just kind of don't. So, let's see here. Working together towards a common goal is more than just a good idea in Tau society. It's the founding pillar of their entire philosophy. Accordingly, their new army rule incentivizes cooperation between squads, building a cohesive firing line that blows enemy armies apart with guided fusillades of firepower, while patiently waiting for the opportune moment to surge forward. Tau Empire. Oh, it's literally just for the greater good. Huh. All right. Let's see. All right. For the greater good, if your army faction is Tau Empire, then in your shooting phase, units from your army can work in pairs to help each other target specific enemy units. When they do so, one unit is the observer and one is the guided. The enemy unit they are targeting is called their spotted unit. Each time you select this unit to shoot, if it is not an observer unit, it can use this ability. If it does, select one other friendly unit with this ability that is also eligible to shoot, excluding fortifications, excluding battle shocked, and excluding observer units. Until the end of that phase, this unit is considered a guided unit, and that friendly unit is considered an observer unit. Then select one enemy unit that is visible to both of them as they're spotted. To the end of the phase. Okay, so this sounds confusing, but this actually is pretty simple to understand. Basically, I'm going to shoot my fire warriors. They are going to be observers. The squad of fire warriors next to me, they're going to be the guided units. And we're going to kill your Terminators, they're spotted. All right. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in a guided unit, so the other one, makes an attack that targets their spotted unit, improve the ballistic skill characteristic of the attack by 1. And if their observer unit has the marker light keyword, the attack has the ignores cover ability. Each time a model in a guided unit makes an attack that does not target their spotted unit, worsen the ballistic skill characteristic by 1. Okay. So it's one is the observer, one is the guided, one is the spotted. Spotted is the enemy, and both of them have to see it. Both have to see it. The observer is the one you choose first, and the other is the guided. So the observer is the one basically lasing down the enemy, and the guided is the one that gets the buffs, basically. The guide is the one that gets the buffs. So I'm going to say, what's up, guys? I am the Tau Fire Warrior squad. I am looking at this squad of Terminators. I am giving it the laze. Mr. Riptide, you get +1 ballistic skill. Specifically to note, +1 ballistic skill. Their ballistic skill goes from probably 4s to 3s, which means if they have a +1 to hit, that would make it go to 2s. As we know, modifiers do not stack. That was actually confirmed in the core rules from that leak. So you can't go from a 4 ballistic skill and do +2 to hit. You're simply changing your ballistic skill entirely to 3 and then adding a +1 to hit. And if they have the Marker Light keyword, that attack has the Ignores Cover ability. However, if that unit shoots at anything else, it is worsens the ballistic skill by 1. Let's say I want to double check something. In your shooting phase, units from your army can work in pairs. Each time you select this unit to shoot, if it is not an observer, it can use this ability. If it does so, select one friendly unit from your ability that is also eligible to shoot. Until the end of the phase, that unit is considered a guided unit. And that friendly unit... Okay, it seems as if you need to shoot with the observer unit first, and then you need to shoot with the guided unit. It says if it is not an observer, so you're starting off as if it's nothing, you use the ability, and you do so, you select another, it says each time you select this unit to shoot, so I am firing my Fire Warriors. Select, and then it's like, okay, it's not an observer. Check the next thing. Hey, Riptide, you get to be my guided. And then you then fire the Fire Warriors. And then the guided unit, the Riptide, is like, okay, that unit you just shot. And then that's that. I guess the fear is that if you fired a Riptide and it was the observer unit and you fired it at like Terminators, but you chose another Riptide as a guided unit and you killed all Terminators, then that guided unit is screwed, because then it can only shoot other units that aren't that at -1 ballistic skill. So you don't want to choose something that will just get blown off the table, because then you're actually nerfing the unit that you're using. Because if you kill all the Terminators, for example, then your Riptide will be at -1 ballistic skill, firing at the entire rest of the army. That's terrible. So what you basically want to do is fire at enemies with units that are probably smaller, cheaper, and most importantly, won't kill them. You basically want to fire at a tank with a Fire Warrior's pulse rifle, and then you can blast it with a hammerhead. Okay. It's a little confusing to read, but the actual words itself are not too bad. You basically want to do activations in pairs, basically. All right, I'm gonna shoot your Lehman Rust tank, Bricky. I'm Lehman Rust man. All right, Fire Warriors. They're gonna be observers. They're gonna guide this Riptide. 5 pulse rifles from the Fire Warriors. Roll. Okay, I did 1 wound. Riptide now, +1 ballistic skill because of the thing. And now we hit. That's basically how it'll go. It's an elegant system, yeah. You select an observer unit to support a guided unit and target a single enemy unit. Gets +1 to the ballistic skill, and if they have marker lights, they will be able to ignore cover, which is nice, because even if the precious marker lights die, it's not as big of a hurt for the Tau Empire like it used to be, which is good. First Tau Empire Detachment, we follow the path of the patient hunter, the favorite martial philosophy of the commander Shadowsun. Kauyon rewards cunning commanders who can keep their army safe for as long as possible, baiting the opponent into a compromised position before hammering them with a furious barrage in the later half of the game. All right, the detachment rule we have to start off with is Kauyon. From the 3rd battle round onwards, all ranged weapons equipped by Tau have sustained hits 1. While a unit has the guided ability, weapons in that unit have sustained hits 2. That's pretty good. That's better than the current Kauyon, I'd say. I'd say is much better than the current Kauyon because you can use this for battle round 3, and 4 is kind of doesn't matter as much. So current Kauyon is battle round 3 gets sustained hits 1, battle round 4 gets sustained hits 2, and battle round wait, no, that's wrong. At the moment, battle round 3 gets sustained hits 1, and then battle round 4 gets 5s and 6s explode sustain hits, and then battle round 5 is 4s, 5, and 6s. Exploding 6s is a good buff. Exploding 5s is a substantial buff. Exploding 4s is unheard of, but it's at turn 5, so no one really cares by that point. This is a little bit better. It's battle round 3, and it operates with the greater good thing. I mean, this is actually quite good. It's really good. If you guide a Tau Hammerhead and on battle round 3 and they happen to roll a 6, they just get 3 shots. It can be quite good. There's a lot of nastiness that can come from that, but it is the Kauyon ability, which means you don't get it battle round 1 or 2, which is, possibly a little bit of a detriment. Excuse me. All right, 2 unit spotlights, Pathfinder and please Riptide. Oh, they gave me the drones. Fine. I guess the drones are important. All right. Pathfinders. Pathfinders are the classic infantry-based Tau that are normally with the marker lights. Let's see here. 7-inch move. That's fine. They're supposed to be scout units. 3 toughness 3, 4 up save, 1 wound, and 1 OC. 7 leadership. AdMech players are going to be mauling their asses off with the 4 up save on the Tau guys. They're going to be mauling. I just know it. They're going to cope and seethe. But it's whatever. 4 up save is fine. Infantry, grenades, marker lights, and Pathfinder team. Cool. Scout 7 inches. Okay, so if we remember, scouts allow you to give them a 7-inch move before the game starts. You line them all up. First turn is chosen, and you move them. For the greater good, of course. Target uploaded. Once per turn, when using the greater good ability, you can select this unit to be an observer unit for a second time. When doing so, you can change which enemy unit. This is for the spotted unit. Interesting. Okay, so that would mean that you wouldn't have to fire the Pathfinders twice, I assume. You would just use them again, which makes sense. They're kind of the spotter unit, so being able to use it twice does make a good bit of sense, so that's cool. War gear abilities, there are 3 drones. Grav Inhibitor is subtract 2 from charge rolls made for an enemy unit. This is not cumulative with any other reductions. Pulse Accelerator Drone is add 6 to the range characteristic of their weapons. And the Recon Drone is this bear is equipped with 1 drone burst cannon, and the bear's unit has the Infiltrator's ability. So if I'm not mistaken, the Infiltrator's ability is much like the Scouts, except you just deploy them in no man's land outside of 9 inches from your opponent. And then I guess you get a drone burst cannon, which is cool. I guess the drone has that to fire. Okay. Let's see the weapons. Close combat weapon, 1 hit on a 5. Yeah, it is. 301. Yeah, they don't hit well in melee, so that's about right. All right, weapons. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they have pulse carbines. Is that what they carry? Let's see. Pulse carbine, marker light, pulse carbine, and pulse pistol. And right, they have the marker light keyword as well, so they will be giving the ignores cover pretty well. So the pulse carbine I want to look at first. It's 20-inch range, 2 shots at 4, because this is a ballistic skill 4 army, 501. So that is basically the exact same profile. They just got a range reduction and they don't have assault. It's just gun. So it's a nerf. They're lower range and no assault. No difference in AP or anything. So yeah, it's basically a nerf. But which I guess I didn't really need because Tau firearms on their infantry are not the problem. But it still's got to, I mean, they're supposed to be like high strength. That's kind of the thing. Drone burst cannon is the thing that the recon drone is equipped with, which is an 18-inch range, 4 shots, hits on 5s because drones hits on 5s. 501, so still the thing we've been seeing, high strength, low AP. I will say the lack of AP here is actually not the worst thing because I don't think that, because the cover can't get you to a 2-up. Now that cover can get you to a 2-up, I think that these higher strength things will mean more and have more use to them. Because like the higher strength is better despite the low AP. All right, the Ion Rifle is the heavy weapon, I believe. Yeah, Ion Rifle. 3 shots at 711, hitting on 5s because it's a heavy weapon. And then the Overcharged is 3 shots at 822, hitting on 5s with Hazardous. So if we see here, we have 821, 822, both heavy, and then the Mortal Wounds pain part. So, okay, it's about the same, just a loss of AP on the standard Ion Rifle, which is fine. It hits on 5s, and then, heavy, with it remain stationary, lets them hit on 4s, all that kind of usual jazz. So it's not too bad. The Hazardous rule we've seen is not like what we've seen before. Basically, you just roll a dice afterwards, and if you roll a 1, it blows up and dies. So it's actually better than before, because rolling a 1 on 3 attacks was a higher probability. So I'd say the Overcharged Ion Rifle is better than it used to be, which is cool. Pulse Pistol, we know what that does. The Rail Rifle, oh boy. Devastating wounds and heavy, 30-inch range, 1 shot, 10, 4, 3. Ballistic skill 5, but of course it's a heavy weapon, so, okay, Dev Wounds means you're getting that nasty 3 mortal wounds on a wound roll of 6. The Rail Rifle here is 8, 4, 3, and a wound roll in addition if you suffer one. If you suffer a wound in general. So, okay. Slightly higher strength, but not quite high enough to meet the toughness that we're seeing, except for light vehicles. That should be mostly fine. It's roughly the same as strength 8. Not quite. Some vehicles are way stronger, but you'll just be wounding them on 5s. 30-inch range is solid, about the same. And I mean, flat 3 damage, AP 4 is still really good to have. That's going to hurt real bad. So if you hit, that is, which you might not, because it's heavy. All right. And then last but not least, the semi-automatic grenade launcher, EMP and fusion. It is 1 shot, interestingly enough. I guess that's why it's semi-automatic. Sure. 301, but it's anti-vehicle 4-up and devastating wounds. So it's the classic case of if you wound a vehicle on a 4-up, it takes a single mortal wound. Or the fusion blast is 6, 1, and then 3 damage. That is somewhat the same. This just made it bracket worse, but yeah, about the same. It lost assault, but not much different. Still, I never actually saw this weapon before. I really never saw someone take a semi-automatic grenade launcher. So yeah. I mean, this is a Pathfinder team. Yeah, the weapons are about really not much changed with this Pathfinder team, except for the more specific things that go along with the new for the greater good ability. I mean, using this as an observer twice is very good. It's basically, when you think about it, so long as you can see the enemy, you're giving 2 units a full-on +1 ballistic skill as a buff from it, which is really solid. So that's quite good. Rather interesting. So yeah, Pathfinder team. Drones now. Let's see. These appear to be all of the other drones. Eagle-eyed Earthcast engineers will notice that the special grav inhibitors drones, pulse-accelerator drones, and recon drones are listed as war gear abilities rather than models in their own right. That's due to a new approach to drones across the board. Instead of individual models, all drones are treated as equipment on a model's data sheet, granting new weapons or abilities directly to that unit. I like that a lot more. I never liked the random adding in drone type. I like this a lot. So let's take a look. Guardian drone. Well, we gotta look at the drones right now. Anyway, where is it? Tactical drones. What even is a Guardian drone? This doesn't even have those Guardian drones. Guardian drones are in breacher teams, right? No. Sea drones. Oh, here we go. Oh, there's one Guardian drone. All right, sea drones. There we go. Let's see here. Guardian drones is... Oh, Lord. Oh, good Lord. Here we go. This model has a 4-up invul save. Each time a range attack is made against this unit, an unmodified wound roll of 1 through 2, the attack fails irrespective of any abilities the weapon has. Okay, so it gives the drone a 4-up invul and the unit a 1-2 like mini transhuman. Guardian drone. Each time a model makes a ranged attack that targets the bearer's unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. That's so much easier to remember. That's good too. That's quite good. Tau are mostly T3 infantry, and I don't know exactly what can take a Guardian drone. I mean, if you could put it on crisis suits, that could be pretty nasty. I don't remember if like Shadow Sun might have it or exactly what the Guardian drone does, but -1 to wound is nice, simple, easy, and a very helpful defensive buff. Gun drone. It is a bear is equipped with the following ranged weapon: twin pulse carbine, assault, twin linked. So it is a classic 2 shots, 5-up ballistic skill, 501 assault weapon, but it has twin linked because it's not 4 shots, it's 2 shots, and it lets you reroll the wounds, which is pretty standard and normal. Cool, that's pretty simple, yeah. Marker drone. The bearer's unit has the marker-like keyword and can act as an observer unit for another unit, even if it advanced this turn. Observer unit for that. Could you not do it if you advanced? Each time you select this unit to shoot, if it is not an observer unit, it can use this ability. If it does so, select one friendly unit with this ability that's also eligible to shoot until the end of the phase. That unit is considered the guided unit, and that friendly unit. Wait. God damn it, I got it backwards, didn't I? I got it backwards. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. I got it backwards. Typical blue Bricky Tau brain rot too early in the day. It doesn't change too much of the actual thing, at least. It doesn't change too much of the actual understanding. Basically, you pick guided first, then you pick observer. Instead, it's more of a, hi, I'm Riptide. I'm going to kill your tank. Pathfinder team, give me a laze. And then you go bop, 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 bop. Okay, that makes more sense. God damn it, Bricky. Okay, well, that actually is good to know because then you're not wasting shots possibly. But more in particularly, why does it say each time a model in a guide unit makes an attack that does not target their spotted unit worse than the ballistic skill? Because they're about to fire at it anyway. Or wait. Each time you select this unit, this unit is considered a guided unit, and that friendly unit is considered an observer unit. Maybe it's just to say that, like, don't split fire. You know, no, you're not allowed to split fire. It's you're basically just not allowed to split fire. You need to shoot everything at that one. That makes more sense, actually. Yeah. So okay. So it's picking someone else to guide them, or to observe them. Technically, okay. I got it backwards. That's fine though. That's still fine. Oh, that makes more sense with the Pathfinder thing now too, because then it's like a Riptide will be like, "Hey, Pathfinder team, laze me, blam blam," and then the other Riptide that you're taking, because you're taking 2 Riptides, is like, "Hey, Pathfinder team, do it again, run it back," and then they shoot they shoot at different targets. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm glad I fixed that. I wonder how many comments will be in this video that are like, "Bricky, you're wrong. It's the other way around." And then it'll be edited and be like, never mind, you figured it out. Maybe, we'll see. Anyway, drones, sorry. Marker drone, right. So I guess the observer unit can do it even if it advanced this turn. Can act as an observer unit for another unit even if it advanced. Can you not act as an observer if you advanced? That is also eligible to shoot. Oh, as if it wasn't eligible to shoot, because it has to be eligible to shoot. Okay, so it's basically saying, hey, if you advance this unit and it's no longer eligible to shoot, you can pick it anyway. Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense. Missile drone. It is a drone with missiles. 30-inch range, 2 shots, 5 ballistic, 722. Hey, it's actually pretty good. That's the same as before, isn't it? Yeah, 722, just no assault. Hits on 5s, though, but it's way better than the gun drone, but I'm assuming that the price will be relative to that. Shield drone. Add 1 to the bearer's wounds characteristics. Like the drone itself? Like, it's a 2-cost drone? Gone are the days of trying to fit a swarm of shield drones behind limited cover or stringing a line across the battlefield for some range-enhancing shenanigans. Now your drone mobs are as helpful tokens, and the dutiful Corvassa aid their masters without obstructing them. I guess taking 2 shield drones on a Riptide means it goes from like 14 wounds to 16 wounds, I guess. I suppose so. I guess it's a lot like that. All right. Very, very well. Easier than it was before. A lot easier than playing roulette with 4-ups. All right, we're talking about already with the hammerheads. Oh boy. Railgun is the yardstick against which all other Tau weapons are measured. 4 inches? With the overall lethality of the game will be brought down, but this is still a monstrous anti-tank weapon that puts the fear of the God Emperor into anything with tracks, tires, or tyrannic hooves. I mean, I would agree with them. I do think that the lethality of the game has gone down. The question is, has it gone down enough? But we'll see about the railgun. Heavy, devastating wounds. 72-inch range, 1 shot, 4 up, 25, D6 plus 6. Fair enough. There it is. The deed is done. You now know the railgun. Not the worst thing in the world. Far more acceptable than what it used to be. 72-inch range is pretty good. 1 shot is good. Strength 20 is great because you're wounded. It's basically the same as before. You're wounding T7, which is now T9 on 2s. T10 now on 2s. AP 5 means it'll go right through their armor save. And D6 plus 6 damage is a nice whopping hit. Devastating wounds. Someone mentioned something interesting. And heavy. So heavy, if it doesn't move, it gets +1 to hit, which is great. So hitting on 3s, +1 a hit. Just saying, you got that guided thing. You got that guided observer thing. Then you can hit this thing on 2s. If you're observing a unit and it's not moving, on 2s. Someone made an interesting point, which was like they're getting rid of ignore invul saves and they're swapping that to devastating wounds and anti vehicle or infantry. And I'm like, that kind of makes sense. I ignore invuls on like a roll of a 4-up with the harpoon, for example. This is like basically, hey, ignores invuls on a roll of a D6 plus 6. So that's kind of the whole point. But yeah, this still hit really hard. This should not be as powerful as the Knight Tyrants or the Knight Valiants. Little chaos coming out there. Harpoon, because this is on a 150-point model, whereas the Knight Valiant is a 600-point model, 145-point model. Yeah. And then maybe some missiles and stuff, because it also has some missiles and things to go along with it. Yeah, it can hit. It hits real hard. At the moment, it was D3 plus 6 and then an additional 3 mortal wounds. So now it's simply D6 plus 6. I mean, that's a railgun. It's going to hurt really bad, but it doesn't ignore invuls, so it won't be as infuriating as before, unless you roll a 6 to wound. But if that happens, then okay. Yes, I was about to say the Storm Surge's Pulse Blast Cannon, I think, is even stronger. Focused, heavy, dispersed, heavy. Focused, 2 shots at strength 24, AP 6, and damage 12. Okay, hold on. I want to compare this to the railgun real quick. I went way too far. Or not the railgun. I want to compare this to the harpoon. 24, 6, 12. 24, 6, 12. It is literally the harpoon without the fancy rules. But 2 shots, which is fine. The Storm Surge is a Lord of War. It's like a 400-point model. So it's 2 enormously ridiculous shots with heavy, which is quite nice. It does not have the anti-vehicle, anti-monster devastating wounds ability from it, though. It has just sheer numbers, which is good. And dispersed is 6 shots at 10-4. Which is also very good. Though to be noted, this is 24-inch range. The other one is 18-inch range. This is 24, and dispersed is 48. So I mean, this thing is still gonna really put some hurt down. Yeah, it's the Pulse Blast Cannon. It's known to murder. So cool. Stratagem Spotlight. Let's take a look at that. Combat Embarkation. 1 CP, your opponent's charge phase just after an enemy unit has declared a charge. 1 Tau Empire infantry unit from your army that was selected as one of the targets of that charge, and 1 friendly transport. No way. Your unit can embark within that transport. If it does, your opponent can select new turns for that charge. Each model in your Tau Empire unit must be within 3 inches of that transport, and there must be sufficient transport capacity. So each model must be within 3. Okay. Oh my god. That's shenanigans. Like, oh my god, the chaos possessed is running at us. Quick, get in the truck. That's pretty hilarious. That's actually really, really funny. As your average fire warrior is less than impressive in close combat, a hasty combat embarkation is an ideal way to keep them safe from harm, while enemy blows bounce harmlessly off your devilfish hulls. With this, a reckless foe can be forced to overextend into a killing field, where they'll meet a wall of firepower in a perfect Kauyon style. Oh man, look at that Ogren. He's so big. Word from the studio. The Tau believe in the greater good, supporting each other, where warriors are less enlightened factions would compete for glory. We reflect this in their army rule for the greater good, which when you select a unit to shoot, lets you choose another observer unit to guide them, improving the ballistic skill of the attacking unit. This rule rewards you for setting up an overlapping field of fire, drawing your enemies into carefully prepared kill boxes, and launching perfectly timed attacks to obliterate your targets. There's sort of solid shot plasma and many, many missiles. Kauyon Detachment allows you to really lead into this aspect of the Tau military doctrine, keeping it for sustained hits and so on. Okay, what do we have next real quick? Chaos Knights. Yep, that sounds about right. It seems that they've been going for a classic, I don't know if you've noticed this, it's Marines, Xenos, well, not quite, mostly. Oh wait, maybe I've screwed up. Maybe now they're doing this. Now they're doing it. It seems like it was Imperium, Xenos, Chaos, Imperium, Xenos, Chaos, Imperium, Xenos, and now Chaos again. Ever want to see a hammerhead railgun triple its railgun shots by rolling a critical hit? That's literally what I said. Now you do. So Tau Empire. I won't lie. You guys are looking saucy. You aren't looking as busted as, say, the well, I don't say busted. I'm not gonna say busted, even though busted makes me feel good. You're not looking as ridiculous as Eldar or Knights. Personally, I think those have been the highest echelon of power. You guys are looking solid and fun. I gotta be honest. This is making me like almost want to play Tau. I don't have Tau. I don't much like to play Tau, but this almost makes me want to play Tau. For the Greater Good is a super fun ability. This is very fluffy, rather enjoyable, and it fits the combination of both marker lights, both the previous iteration and a new one, I think, really well. And it is also very Tau. It is a overlapping fields of fire working together combat stance, and I like that a lot. It is really, really fun. I just find that really enjoyable. It'd be kind of cool. You can have a little token, like a little bag of tokens, guided observer, guided observer, guided observer. When you throw them out, when you start playing the game, that's just really handy, I'd say. It's a very interesting system. Kauyon, it looks really good. It's it's not like the craziest thing on the planet, but it's a pretty good bonus to have. And I think as far as detachment rules go, compare this to Death Guard, you got a much better one while you wait for your codex. Pathfinders are looking good. I like the target uploading rule. It feels very fun. I like that drones are little ability tokens that you can add. I think that's a really cool thing to do. And I like the fact that you can just have the various drones there and you can just always know exactly what they do with each drone. The drones, same thing. I wish they didn't. I wish they didn't show drones though. I wish they showed me suits. They should have showed us crisis suits, or like at least a hammerhead or a broadside. They should have showed us suits. But it's still cool for the drones. I'm happy for the drones. It seems kind of neato. And then the railgun is looking really powerful. It is looking massively toned down though. The fact that it doesn't ignore invulns is a huge difference. It's just a gigantic difference. And I'm very happy about that. It's still gonna hit like an absolute train, as it should. The plasma blast cannon will also be hitting like an absolute train, as it should. I kind of wish they would have shown me like a Riptide's burst cannon or something. I feel like they just showed me two gigantic murderous guns and kind of just left it there. Oh well. And this stratagem is hilarious. It's literally, oh my God, they're attacking us. Get in the truck. And I find that just so fun. Yeah, I gotta say, Tau is. I would be rather happy if I were you. GW has struggled to properly make a faction of Tau that is fun to fight. And they might still not be fun to fight because, good God, the amount of guns, right? But even so, like this seems pretty neat. This seems like it has got good build ideas. It seems like it's got some pretty good rules, and they don't feel too bullshit. So I'm actually pretty on board with this whole thing. I'm very on board. Chaos Knights next time. Unfortunately, today's Friday. I won't be seeing you this weekend, but I will be coming back on Monday, and we can continue the look. We don't have much left, right? So we've got K-Suns and Knights here. We have Stoties and Grey Knights here. And then we have Drukhari, Gene Stealer Cults, and Orcs. So Drukhari, Gene Stealer Cults, Orcs, Chaos Knights, K-Suns, Custodes, and Grey Knights. So that's 7 more. They might do Inquisition and the like after that as well. Maybe. But we'll see. Anywho, thank you so much for watching. It was a pleasure having you here, and I'll see you later.